Good morning, children. Today we will start a new poem, How to Tell Wild Animals. In this poem, the word tell means how to identify wild animals. See, we all know that different animals have different characteristics. They have their own speciality, they have their own features, and through those special features, we can identify animals. So let us see which animals is the poem talking about, how many types of animals are we going to read in this poem, and their special features, how can we identify them. First I am reading the whole poem, then I will explain each stanza. How to tell wild animals. This humorous poem suggests some dangerous ways to identify or tell wild animals. Read it aloud, keeping to a strong and regular rhythm. If ever you should go by chance to jungles in the east, and if there should to you advance a large tawny beast, if he roars at you as you are dying, you'll know it is the Asian lion. Or if sometime when roaming around, a noble wild beast greets you with black stripes on a yellow ground, just notice if he eats you. This simple rule may help you learn the Bengal tiger to discern. If strolling forth a beast you view, whose hide with spots is peppered, as soon as he has leapt on you, you will know it is the leopard. It will do no good to roar with pain. He will only leap and leap again. If when you are walking round your yard, you meet a creature there who hugs you very, very hard, be sure it is a bear. If you have any doubts, I guess he will give you just one more caress. Though to distinguish beasts of prey, a novice might nonplus the crocodile you always may tell from the hyena thus. Hyenas come with merry smiles, but if they weep, they are crocodiles. The true chameleon is small, a lizard sort of thing. He hasn't any ears at all, and not a single wing. If there is nothing on the tree, it is the chameleon you see. So, in this poem, we are going to read about various animals and various different ways of identifying them. You must have noticed by now that each animal has its own special features. So through those special features of each animal, we are going to see how we can identify them. As you can see, children, there are some word meanings also given. So you can take the help of these word meanings also, and I will also keep telling you the word meanings as we will proceed with the explanation. Let us begin the explanation of the first stanza. If ever you should go by chance to jungles in the east, the poet is saying in the first two lines that if ever you get a chance of going to the jungles in the eastern part of the country, in the eastern region, in the eastern part of the country, and if there should to you advance a large tawny beast, underline the word advance and write come towards you, come towards you. Or if you write only come towards, then also it's complete in its meaning. A large tawny beast, a large tawny beast. Underline the word tawny and write the meaning. Brownish wild animal. It is brownish in color, brown in color. Brownish wild animal. Beast is a wild animal and tawny here means brownish, brown in color. Tawny beast is brownish wild animal. So the poet is saying that if you ever get an opportunity, you ever get a chance to go to the jungles in the eastern part of the country, and you will notice there that a brown colored large beast, a brown colored large wild animal is advancing towards you, is approaching towards you. If he roars at you as you are dying, if he roars at you, we all know that lions roar. When you were a small kid, you have learnt about different sounds made by different animals, and you are well aware that lions roar. So if you hear a roaring sound, such a sound which makes you die, such a sound which terrorizes a person so much that he can die on the spot, then you will know that it is the Asian lion. Through the roar of that wild animal, you can well guess that it is none other than the Asian lion. Second stanza. Or if sometime when roaming round, roaming here means wandering, or if sometime when roaming round, a noble wild beast greets you. A noble, here noble means grand and impressive. You can underline the meaning and write the meaning also. The word noble here means grand and impressive, very impressive to look at. You will feel blessed that you have seen such a beautiful wild beast. You will feel very impressed. A noble wild beast greets you. Greets you here means welcomes you with black stripes on a yellow ground. Black stripes on a yellow ground. By this time, maybe you have imagined, you have guessed which animal are we talking about. Yes, we are talking about a tiger. With black stripes on a yellow ground. Here ground means skin. The skin is yellow in color and it has black stripes on it. Just notice if he eats you. The poet is saying that if you will wait there and you will watch him in front of him, then he will attack you, he will pounce on you, he will attack you and he will eat you. This simple rule may help you learn the Bengal tiger to discern. Discern here means to recognize. So how you will recognize that it is the Bengal tiger? There are two special features mentioned in this stanza. Firstly, the body is yellow in color with black stripes. Secondly, if you will stand there a moment and you will look at him, you will look at that wild beast, then he will pounce on you, he will attack on you and he will eat you up. So this is the characteristic feature through which we can easily recognize that it is the Bengal tiger. Next stanza. If strolling forth, underline the words and write the meaning. Walking leisurely, strolling forth means walking leisurely. If strolling forth, a beast you view. Now in this line the poet says that if you are walking somewhere leisurely, that means you are walking coolly without any botheration, without any thought in your mind, you are just having a nice walk. A beast you view, you might come across a beast, an animal whose hide here means skin, whose hide with spots is peppered. Spots means marks on the body. Spots on the body, marks on the body. Is peppered. Here peppered means scattered. There are spots scattered here and there all over the body of that animal. Underline the word peppered and write the meaning scattered. Let us go through these two lines once again. The poet is saying that if sometime you are walking leisurely and you come across a beast whose skin has spots here and there scattered all over its body, as soon as he has leapt on you, leapt means jumped, you will know it is the leopard. So this is the characteristic of a leopard, that if you will come across a leopard, he will not wait at all and he will pounce on you, he will jump on you, he will leap on you. You will know it is the leopard. It will do no good to roar with pain. If the leopard has jumped upon you, if it has leapt upon you and you are crying with pain for help, you are crying that somebody must come to save your life, it will be of no good. The poet is saying it will do no good to roar. Roar here means to cry with pain. If a leopard jumps upon a person, it will be useless if he cries with pain. It will do no good. Why? Because he will only leap and leap again. If the person is crying loudly, help, help, save my life, it will be of no good. It will go in vain, because the leopard will only keep on jumping upon that person even more, and finally that person will be killed. He will only leap and leap again. Leap and leap means he will keep on jumping and pouncing on that person again. He will only keep on attacking that person again and again. So here shouting and crying will be of no help. Next stanza. If when you are walking round your yard, if when you are walking round your yard, that means you are walking on a ground. If there is a huge open space, suppose you are walking there, you meet a creature there who hugs you very, very hard. Who hugs you, that means who embraces you, who shows his love towards you, and he holds you tightly, hugs you very, very hard. That means the animal embraces you and hugs you very, very tightly. Be sure it is a bear. So this is the quality of a bear, that if you are walking on a ground and you come across an animal who hugs you tightly, embraces you, shows his love towards you, then it is none other than the bear. If you have any doubts, I guess he will give you just one more caress. Caress means he will touch you gently. He will touch you in a very loving manner if you have any doubt. That means it shows the quality that bear is a loving animal. If you come across a bear, how you will identify it is a bear and no other animal? Because the bear will hug you, it will embrace you lovingly, and if still you have any doubt, he will touch you in a very gentle manner, in a very loving manner. This will make you sure that it is a bear and no other animal. Next stanza. Though to distinguish beasts of prey. Now in this line the poet is saying that the wild animals who are beasts of prey, that means who attack other animals for their food, who attack not only animals but even human beings for their prey, as their prey, for their food, how will you differentiate between them? How will you distinguish between them? Though to distinguish beasts of prey, a novice might nonplus. Novice means an inexperienced person. A person who has no experience, no knowledge of how to identify wild animals. A novice might nonplus. Nonplus here means be confused. See, the meaning is also given: puzzled, confused, surprised. So in these two lines, the poet is saying that sometimes even an inexperienced person might get confused. A normal person who has no experience of the characteristic features of wild animals, even he might get confused if he sees different beasts of prey. Like, for example, the poet is giving two examples in this stanza how a person can get confused. The crocodile you always may tell from the hyena thus. Now see, the word tell here means distinguish. Underline the word tell and write the meaning distinguish. The poet says, the crocodile you always may distinguish from the hyena thus. The poet is talking about two wild animals in this stanza, the crocodile and the hyena. And he is saying how a person can get confused when he sees a crocodile or a hyena. Hyenas come with merry smiles. Merry means cheerful. Hyenas have a smiling face, as if they are smiling, they are cheerful. But actually we all know that hyenas are very, very, very dangerous. They attack children, they attack human beings, they attack other animals. They are very, very dangerous wild animals. So one should not get confused with that wicked smile which hyenas have on their faces. One must not get confused, and one must not think that it's a very noble animal, it's a very gentle animal. See, there's a smile on its face. No. A person should not get confused. It's a very, very dangerous wild animal. Similarly, crocodile. But if they weep, they are crocodiles. You must have heard of crocodile tears. Crocodile tears are all false tears which crocodiles keep shedding. So one must not think, by seeing the tears of the crocodile, one must not think that, oh my goodness, it's such a pity that these animals are lying here in this dirty water or on mud, on sand. We must not pity crocodiles, because actually the tears which the crocodile shed are all false tears, which can make anybody confused, especially an inexperienced person who has no knowledge about the reality of such dangerous animals like the hyena or like the crocodile. So in these two, in this stanza, the poet is describing that one can get confused. A novice, an inexperienced person can get confused by seeing the wicked smile of the hyena or by seeing the crocodile tears. But we must be alert. Last stanza. The true chameleon is small. Now in the last stanza, the poet is describing about a chameleon. You all know that chameleons have a special feature that they can change their color according to its surrounding. If it sits on a green tree, it looks like a green twig. If it sits on a brown surface, it will change its color into brown. So this is the special feature of a chameleon. A true chameleon is small, a lizard sort of thing. I am very sure everybody must have seen chameleon by now, and you all know that chameleon is very much similar to a lizard. He hasn't any ears at all and not a single wing. So the poet says in these two lines that like the lizard does not have any ears or any wings, similarly the chameleon also does not have any ears or any wings. If there is nothing on a tree, it is the chameleon you see. In the last two lines, the poet says that if the chameleon is sitting on a tree which is a green tree, a healthy tree, then it will change its color and you will not be able to see the chameleon at all because it has already changed its color into green. You will only be able to see the tree. You will not be able to recognize where is the chameleon. So the poet says that if you see nothing on a tree, it is the chameleon you see. If you are bluffed, if you are mistaken that where is the chameleon, there is no chameleon on the tree, that means you are seeing a chameleon because it has already changed its color into green. That is why you are not able to identify it or spot it. Now, before I conclude today's class, I am reading the whole poem slowly once again, and I will send the PDF also, which will give you the summary of the poem and the poetic devices used in the poem, which you must note down and learn. If ever you should go by chance to jungles in the east, and if there should to you advance a large tawny beast, if he roars at you as you are dying, you will know it is the Asian lion. Or if sometime when roaming round, a noble wild beast greets you with black stripes on a yellow ground, just notice if he eats you. This simple rule may help you learn the Bengal tiger to discern. If strolling forth a beast you view, whose hide with spots is peppered, as soon as he has leapt on you, you'll know it is the leopard. It will do no good to roar with pain. He'll only leap and leap again. If when you are walking round your yard, you meet a creature there who hugs you very, very hard, be sure it is a bear. If you have any doubts, I guess he'll give you just one more caress. Though to distinguish beasts of prey, a novice might nonplus. The crocodile you always may tell from the hyena thus. Hyenas come with merry smiles, but if they weep, they are crocodiles. A true chameleon is small, a lizard sort of thing. He hasn't any ears at all and not a single wing. If there is nothing on the tree, it is the chameleon you see. So, through this nice poem, a small and a nice poem, we have seen how we can identify different wild animals. Read the poem once again, see the poetic devices from the PDF, learn them, note them also down that which stanza has which poetic device, and read the summary of the poem once again. Thank you, children.